everybody. Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing two films. We're reviewing two films that we both found streaming, which is Alone. Is the first film, which can be found on, basically any streaming platform, but I found it on Amazon. And then Alive, which can be found on Netflix.
Hashtag Alive.
Hashtag Alive. No one's saying hashtag alive. They're just going to say alive.
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll be reading.
Pound sign alive.
Yes. Pound alive.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and get started. I'll have Jason kick it off, if you will. So the first film that we will be covering will be Alone. And I say, let's get right into it, man.
All right. So Alone is a thriller, partially horror, I guess, but I mean, like, it's a thriller. And it is, it's directed by Peter Hyams, whose work I'm not very familiar with, but I know he's done some Universal Soldier movies, and he's done a lot of stuff. I'm just not too familiar with a lot of his stuff. But it stars Jules Wilcox as a lady who is basically, after her husband has recently died, she is basically picking up and moving somewhere else and driving, So she's packed up all of her belongings and she's driving about 300 miles through the woods to wherever it is that she's moving. And along the way, she catches the interest, I should say, of a, crazy guy, basically.
Stalker kind of guy, yeah.
Stalker, yeah, definitely a stalker. So for sure. And that's pretty much the entire movie. You know what I mean? That's the premise, is that she is on this road trip and catches the attention of a very unhinged person, who initially seems like sort of normal, but he always seems a little off. And he just keeps coming back and back. And, I don't mean to imply that it's bad, that the storyline is that simple. In fact, I think it's a good thing. I mean, to me, this is like almost a perfect, just like razor wire, narrow focus thriller. You know what I mean? I love this kind of movie. It might remind me, like, the first half of it is like on the road. You know what I mean? It reminded me of all these really great movies about somebody who is in conflict with somebody on the road, like Breakdown, like Duel, like Joyride. Those kind of movies that really kind of build suspense. That makes you think, like, man, what would I do in this situation if I was on the road in the middle of nowhere with nobody around, except for this person who won't leave me alone, And it goes from there. I'm not going to talk about spoilers or anything, but it goes off of the road into kind of the woods, and it's just like, it's so well paced. It's my kind of movie. I love these kind of like compressed time frame, simple, focused, suspenseful movies, and this movie really is suspenseful. Like, it's designed pretty much to have you on the edge of your seat from like the very beginning all the way until the very end. And for me, anyway, it worked in that regard. Like, I was one of those movies where I was like leaning forward at some points because it was so tense, But yeah, I loved it. It's my kind of movie, like, to a T. So I love this movie. How about you, Kier?
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I thought it was a really fun film. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's very simple in that it primarily only involves two people. There's a few other characters involved, but it's primarily just two people for most of the film. So it's kind of a cat and mouse kind of game, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Is the best way to kind of describe it. But yeah, it just goes to show you don't need, it kind of reminds me of the kind of film that you could probably make during quarantine. You know what I mean? Because you don't need a whole lot of people. You don't need a whole lot of people. You could still make a really good suspenseful film that only involves, just a few people. So it just shows that those are the kinds of films. I don't know if this was made during quarantine, obviously, but those are the kind of films that you could make, during a quarantine setting. You know what I mean? That we're living in, and still have it be entertaining, still have it be suspenseful, still have it be scary. And a lot of parts. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun film. definitely, like I said, definitely had some very intense moments in it. And definitely, yeah, I agree. It's remind me a lot of like you said, the Joyride, the breakdowns, those types of films. It remind me a lot of that because, like you said, it's kind of a road trip for the first half, and then the second half is kind of more of a cat and mouse kind of game. So yeah, definitely a good one. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, and I think both of the main performances are really awesome too, and they're both actors that I'm not familiar with.
Right.
I saw the guy is on Ozark, and I know you watch Ozark. I haven't watched it yet, but I don't know if you know him. I don't know if he has a big role in that or not, but I thought both of them were fantastic. Yeah. And I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else, but yeah, I really liked it.
Cool.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
I'm sure it wasn't important.
It's probably not.
But yeah, no, definitely.
I know what I was going to say. These movies, a lot of the success for me depends on the protagonist. Do they make good decisions? You know what I mean? Not to say I haven't loved a lot of horror movies where the characters make dumb decisions, because that can be fun too. But for a movie like this to really sell the realism, it has to, the character has to be doing things that make sense. And I think this really succeeded on that level too. It was, the lead actress, her character is smart, and she doesn't do dumb things like they do sometimes in movies like this. So
yeah. I mean, she's kind of put in different situations without going into spoilers, but I think that they're appropriate, her response, you know what I mean, whether it led to something good that happened or bad that happened. I think that her response is a response that I could see others making the same choices as well. So, I agree.
Right.
You always see those commercials where they make fun of the kids like running, and like there's a monster chasing them or a guy chasing them, and they go, "Oh, let's get in a running car." No, that's crazy. Let's go run to the woodshed with the chainsaws. Yeah, let's go hide there. You know what I mean? Like, so those are like the dumb choices that you see in a lot of horror movies or slasher films. That can be where you kind of like check your brain at the door. Whereas this one, it was a very smart thriller. You know what I mean? I definitely think that they they did it very well. I thought, like you said, both the leads did very well in terms of, protagonist, antagonist. I thought it was really great. And like I said, just a really good cat and mouse film for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next film. And I'll take this one on.
Okay. What's it called again?
It's called #Alive.
There you go.
#Alive. So this is a Korean film. It's if you've seen Train to Busan, this one's kind of in the same vein. I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's in the same universe. I don't know. So I do know that both films involve zombies, basically. Whereas like Train to Busan, it's a group of people that are on a train where zombies are attacking them and affecting people and that sort of stuff. This one, the zombies, the only reason why I compare them, because the zombies seem similar to the ones in Train to Busan. So these zombies are they're fast moving, they turn quickly, kind of similar to 28 Days Later kind of thing. But
yeah, they're not really dead. They're more like they're like rabid, basically.
Yeah, more like rabbit, basically.
28 Days Later.
Yeah, but
they're zombies.
They're just zombies. I'm just calling them zombies. I'm not going to get too technical. I know people like to say, well, they're not technically zombies, but they're zombies in a sense. And then with these ones, though, they turn quick, but not quite as quick as some of the other films that I've seen, where it's like it seems like instantly they turn. These ones, I think you get like a couple minutes before they actually turn for the most part. So, so the reason why it's called, Basically Alive, it's the main character, and I don't know his name. I'm sure it's Korean or something of that nature. Basically, he's in an apartment building as the basically infected are getting infected, and he's basically watching all the events unfold out of his window. So he's kind of looking out of his window and seeing people basically attacking other people, and then people basically turning into essentially zombies or rabbit people or whatever you want to call them. And he realizes soon enough that he's never going to be able to leave his house because, I mean, the streets are just flooded with these zombies. They're also in the building as well. So he's basically kind of barricaded himself in the building for pretty much most of the film. I would say probably at least 2/3 of the film is him basically in his apartment with limited food, with limited water, and then of course as the pandemic or the infected grow and grow and grow, his power starts getting shut off, the water starts getting shut off, and he's running low on food, and so it's basically you're watching this guy slowly kind of like lose it. Because he's stuck, he doesn't want to go outside. There's really nowhere for him to go. If he goes outside, he's going to get bitten and changed immediately. Even if he goes probably outside of his apartment, he's probably gonna get bitten and or attacked, because they're basically just all throughout the apartment complex. And it's kind of a really high-rise apartment complex as well. I don't know how many floors on it, but it seemed like it was quite a few floors with just nothing but infected people. And occasionally people do the infected do try to break in, and he has to like kind of take care of them. So it's mostly just centered around him, and not to get into spoilers, but at some point another character that's in another building does come into play, and there's an interaction with that, and it kind of goes from there. I don't want to go too much into that because it kind of gets into more spoiler category. So it's essentially just a really good zombie film that it's not like overly action, you know what I mean? It's not like overly gory and violent for the most part. There's enough gore and there's enough violence to it, but it's not like overly done, because it's mostly just him in his apartment complex, trying to think of different ways to survive basically. And that's why it's called #alive, because towards the beginning of the film, that's all he really wants to do is just find a way just to stay alive. And hopefully, in his head thinking maybe things will blow over, maybe he'll get rescued, maybe they'll figure out a way to clear the streets of all the infected. And that's kind of where the story goes from there. So that's it in a nutshell. You know what I mean? And both these films are very kind of simplistic. But like Alone, I also enjoyed this one as well. I thought it was a good film. I thought it was very interesting. It's just kind of cool watching, or funny to watch somebody look out their window and just see all this going on, and people are getting attacked in the streets, and you're just kind of witnessing the whole thing unfold. But you're also kind of scared because, you're like, well, how's this guy going to get out of this situation? I mean, you've got, zombies in your building, you got zombies in the street, and, how are you going to leave this situation? So I found the film to be very interesting. I thought it was really entertaining. I definitely enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun. What was your take, Jason?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was great. It's me. I'm a huge zombie movie fan. My favorite movie of all time is a zombie movie. But at the same time, like, I realize that zombies are a little played out at this point. I understand when people say they're tired of zombies, and I get it. But a movie like this comes along and it proves that no matter how many times something has been done, it can still be done well. You know what I mean? So, I've seen movies like this. I've seen there's a billion zombie movies out there. There's even ones like this that are kind of like one person and like kind of isolated in one place. But that's fine. It's a really well done movie, and it really checks off all the boxes that I'm looking for in a movie like this. Like, it's funny, it's suspenseful, it's intense. It's got a lot of action. It's got like really interesting characters. It's got just the right amount of depth without ever getting like ponderous or anything like that. And it's got a really great ending. Like, the whole movie I really enjoyed, but like the ending, I really thought it was going to go one way, and then it surprises you right at the last minute. Right. So I really like that, and it's kind of neat that it's kind of a counterpoint to the movies that some of the movies we've talked about, how social media is ruining the world. In this movie, it's kind of what sort of saves the world in a way, or at least survivors.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing. He kind of was a social media guy, the main character, And so, he was constantly posting, updates about what was going on and his feelings and, his moments of despair. And so there was a lot of humor to that as well. But yeah, no, I like you said, I think that you could still do an original film. And not to say this one, like you said, most zombie movies at some point, characters hold themselves up in some place, whether it be Dawn of the Dead, where they're in a mall or whatever case may be.
That's part of the zombie playbook is
just to hold yourself
up
in
a place to take shelter.
Yeah, and most of them though they usually do have somebody else with them, whereas for most of the film he was by himself. So I thought that was kind of unique, and to watch him and to watch slowly the world start crumbling around him within his apartment complex. You know what I mean? Like he has family that he's trying to find information on. He's when it first starts, he can watch TV. He can, what I mean? He's got some food. He's got water. But that slowly starts to deteriorate as the airwaves start shutting down, the power starts shutting off, the water supply starts ending, and you're like, man, how is this going to work for this guy? You know what I mean? How long can he survive like this? And so it's also like kind of a test of wills as well.
Yeah,
how he was going to be able to survive and make it through. So
yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed both of these. Yeah,
cool. Awesome. Well, with that said, let's start with. I was getting confused because they both are very similar sounding. Let's start with Alone. What was your overall take on that one? The grade you would give it, and the face you would give that one.
Okay, so I know I give this grade a lot, but I give it a 4 out of 5, which is a B+. But it's almost 4.5. Like, I have a feeling if I watch it again, it might go up to 4.5. But right now, it's a really, really high B+. So that's, this face. Big smile with the teeth.
Cool. I'm not going to be too far behind you. I'm not going to be a full star. I'm going to go 3.5 on this one. So I enjoyed it as well, but I'm going to go 3.5. And I'm going to give it this face, which is also a smile with some teeth. So cool. And then with hashtag alone or hashtag alive. I'm sorry, hashtag alive. I know I get confused all the time. They're similar. Alone, alive. It's confusing. Hashtag alive. The grade you would give that one, and the face you would give that one as well.
Actually, the same exact thing. Like I'm so close to bumping up to a 4.5 out of 5, and I might do that the second time. But right now, it's a really, really high B+, 4 out of 5. Actually, I keep throughout the year. I keep a list of all the movies from this year, loosely ranked.
5, and they're all 4 out of 5.
They're all 4 out of 5 now. but these are like right next to each other, like really high in the 4s. So maybe if I watch it again, it'll be, I'll stop picking. I don't even know what I nitpick. There wasn't anything I didn't like about it. So, but yeah, for right now, it's a really, really high B+, which is the same pace.
Cool. Yeah, I like this one just a smidge more than Alone. So I actually went same grade. I went with a 4 out of 5 on this one. So same as you. And I'm going to give it this face, which is still a smile with some teeth. So, yeah, definitely enjoyed both films. Both were great. Like I said, had a good time with both of them, and definitely looking forward to coming back with some more films to watch. So, yeah. So, once again, if you like the review, definitely ask that you like, subscribe, and always make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of our uploads. And we will be back soon with another film for you guys. And we hope you all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.